Hello CraftDee Family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY project, we'll be creating 5 Christmas and holiday themed DIYs to decorate for the season. Now these decor items are super easy to make and they're perfect if you're just starting out into crafting. Now these all feature a beautiful buffalo check print, and I combine them with festive holiday greenery to liven up your space. Now I will provide a step-by-step instruction to help you complete all of these beautiful creations. Now, I've provided the list of supplies and tools used to make these projects in the description box below. Now, I'm so happy to share this tutorial with you, but before we start, I wanted to say hey, and welcome back to my amazing subscribers and visitors to my channel. Now, if you are a new visitor to my channel today and you love to create fun and easy DIY projects on a budget, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also click that notification bell so you will be the first to know when a new DIY tutorial is ready to share with you. So now let's just jump right into the projects. Now the first project is a wood ornament decor piece. Now for this project, we'll start with one of these wood bulb signs from the Dollar Tree. We'll also need this snow sign that I got from Dollar General. Now the first thing we're going to do is to take that bulb sign and we want to remove all of those tags. And then I'm going to take some painter's tape and I want to place 2 strips across the middle since that will be in a different color. Now I'm just going to estimate the placement of the tape. So now we're going to stain, and I will be using this Jacobian stain by Minwax. Now we will only be staining the top and the bottom sections. So in all of my excitement, I started to stain that center, but I was like, oops, I caught it. But we will be painting that area in a different color. So just continue to stain the bottom and the sides of your piece. And then we want to let it completely dry. Now once it dries, you want to go ahead and remove all of your tape. So now we're going to go ahead and grab that tape again, and we're going to tape the border for our paint line. Now you just want to make sure that you leave just a little bit of that stained edge peeking out into the area that you'll be painting, so it'll be a nice and crisp line. Now we will be using this white chalk paint for this project. Now we want to apply 2 coats of that chalk paint, and we want to let it dry completely in between those coats. And then once the paint dries, you want to carefully remove all of your tape. So now we can grab that snow sign, and we will be painting this with a coat of black acrylic paint. Now I find it easier to start by painting the outside of the letters first and then painting the face of the lettering. And once it's all painted, you want to let it completely dry. And now we can prepare the word for our sign. Now when I put it on our sign, it didn't stand out as much as I would have liked. So what I'm going to use is this Dollar Tree white paint marker, and I'm just going to make little ticking or stitch marks around the letters. And here it is all completed. Now for the bulb, we're going to take some of that greenery and some berries, and we want to embellish the top of this ornament. Now I just want to start by taking the pieces and I want to trim them down to fit the top. And then we can just hot glue those pieces into place. Now once all the greenery is done, we can add our berries. And then you can add more greenery if you like. Now to top it off, we'll be adding some of this checkered ribbon, and we're going to be tying it into a bow. And once we have it all trimmed down, all we have to do is to hot glue it into the top center. And now we can add snow to the sign, and we're just going to add some hot glue to the back, and we want to press it into place. And to hang up our piece, all you have to do is hot glue a piece of jute twine with knotted ends to the back of the sign. And here is our sign all complete. Now I think that this turned out gorgeous. Now I love all of the details in this piece, and it really has a high-end look. And I think adding the little stitch marks really makes this word stand out. Now this one was so much fun to make, and you guys have to let me know in the comments what you think. Now the second project is a pair of glass holiday vases. Now for this project, we'll start with 2 of these vases from the Dollar Tree. Now the first thing we're going to do is paint it with a couple coats of white paint on the vases, and you can use spray paint, chalk, or acrylic. And now that they are nice and dry, we can decorate them. Now I will be using some of this greenery and berry bundles that I already had on hand. Now to attach the berries to the vase, you could certainly hot glue them, but in order for the decor to be switched out, I will be using jute twine to tie them on. Now you just want to use a very tight double knot to secure the bundle into place. Now an option to add to the top is wrapping the jute twine around the top of the vase and covering up that tie, and actually this looks really great. Now I decided I'm going to go with the checkered ribbon to keep with the theme of the collection, and I will just be wrapping it around the top and tying a bow around it. And then just trim it down to fit. And once that's all done, just repeat this for your second vase. Now you can use these as is, or you can add some filler if you like to the vases, or you can keep them just regular and without any filler. It's all up to you. And then just display them however you wish. And there you have it, a sweet and simple vase set to add to your home decor. Now these turned out so great, and the greenery can be changed out with those seasons. And I love this super cute set, and I hope you guys like them too. Now the third project is a deer and wreath themed decor piece. Now for this project, we'll start with 2 of these wood arrows from the Dollar Tree. We'll also need 8 tumbling blocks and 2 cube blocks from the Dollar Tree. And we'll need 2 garland ties from the Dollar Tree. Now the first thing we're going to do is to take those tumbling blocks, and we just want to glue 2 of them together, and we're going to end up with 4 sets of 2. So now we're going to paint all of our pieces. Now you just want to go ahead and take our arrows, and we want to remove those string ties from the back. Then apply a coat of this nice white chalk paint to those arrow pieces. Now you do want to make sure when you paint these you get the edges as well. And then we're going to take some of this black acrylic paint, and we will be painting the block pieces. Now once everything is nice and dry, we can assemble our pieces together. Now I'm just going to lay out the pieces with the cube at the top of the arrow, and then place one of the 2 block pieces on each side of that cube. And then we just want to start hot gluing those pieces into place. And then repeat this for your second arrow. Now I wanted the white portion that's showing at the top of the arrow to match my blocks, so I'm just going to paint those to match. Now at the last minute I decided I wanted to add a plank style background, so I'm just going to take my ruler and mark lines in 4 equal sections. This ended up to be about 1.25 inches wide. And once everything is marked, you just want to draw your lines on with a pencil. Now to make your lines more bold, we're just going to go over them with a Sharpie and a random dashed pattern to make it look a little bit worn. Then to blend them in, I'm just going to dry brush some white acrylic paint lightly over those lines. So now we can take our garland ties and I'm going to form them into little wreaths by twisting those ends together. Now to the centers of my wreaths, I'll be adding these deer ornaments from Dollar Tree. So now we can add the wreaths to each one of those arrow pieces, and I'm just going to apply hot glue to the back and gently press them into place. And then for my deer, what I'll do is take some small ribbon and I'm just going to make a couple tiny little bows to place on them. And then I'm just going to hot glue the little bows onto the base of my deer's neck. So now we can add each of our deer to the wreaths, and we're just going to apply a little bit of hot glue to the back of each of them and press them onto the wreaths. Now if you want to hang these, you just apply hot glue to a couple pieces of jute string with knotted ends to the back, and check it out. I really love how adorable these turned out. Now I love the clean and crisp look of these and the sweet little look of the deer. Now these were super easy to make, and I hope you guys give them a try. Now the fourth project is a glass bowl vase set. Now for this project, we'll start with one of the 2 small round vase bowls from the Dollar Tree and 1 2-pack of the glass tea light holders from Dollar Tree. Now the first thing we're going to do is take all of the pieces out and clean the bottoms where we'll be adhering them together. Now if you want a permanent bond, use some of this E6000 with your hot glue, but since I'll be repurposing these pieces, I'll only use my high temperature hot glue for these today. You just want to add a generous amount of whatever adhesive of your choices to the bottom of the bowl and then place the tea light holder on top. And then let them both sit to bond. Now once they're dry, you want to apply a couple coats of your favorite spray, your chalk paint or acrylic paint. So now that the paint is dry, we can decorate our pieces. Now I will be using some of these berry bunches and also some greenery I had on hand. Now I'll be adding a small ribbon tie around the bottom of the base to tie into look, and this is completely optional. And then you can start to add your greenery in the vases in whatever desired arrangement of your choice. So once my greenery is added, I'm going to add some berry stems, and I'm just going to clip the stems out to add to the arrangement. Now I'm going to be adding 2 bunches into each one of the vases. And then to top these off, I will be adding a frosty pine cone that I snatched off another Dollar Tree bundle, and I'm going to place that in each of the vases. And that is it. And here are these sweet little vases on display, and I love the pop of color in this. Now the sleek white color and shape of the vase almost has a modern vibe, and the ribbon is totally optional, and your choice of greenery may be the star of the show. Now I love that you can use these for all seasons. Now the 5th project is a deer wall decor piece. Now for this project, we'll start with this 24 of these tumbling blocks from the Dollar Tree. We'll also need these deer from Dollar General. We'll need a set of these ornaments from the Dollar Tree. We'll also need a piece of fabric or scrapbook paper for the background and some white or cream soft fabric for the snow. And we'll also need a piece of foam board. Now the first thing we're going to do is to lay out our Schon Bronzer silicone mat, and we're going to grab those blocks. Then we're going to take our straight edge and our hot glue gun, and we will be bonding 6 blocks together to make a frame. Now if you want to pre-purchase an already assembled frame, that is fine. I just could not find one in the size that I needed, and the blocks would be cheaper to make the frame myself. Now we'll be making 4 strips of 6 blocks. So now we can grab our carpenter square, and this is also available at the Dollar Tree. And what we're going to do is line up our pieces to form our frame. Now while you're assembling your frame, you just want to make sure that you clean up any glue that oozes out of the seam. And now our frame is complete. So once it's nice and dry, we can paint the frame. Now I will be applying 2 coats of this white acrylic paint to the top and the sides of my frame. And once that completely dries, go ahead and we're going to grab the foam board, and we're going to place the frame right on top. Now we'll be tracing the outside of the frame with a pencil onto the foam board. And then just cut it out using your ruler and X-Acto knife. Now we want to be sure to shorten the top and the sides by about 1/4 inch so it doesn't overlap the frame. So now we can cover our board, and I will be using some fabric that I had on hand to do this, but you can also use scrapbook paper as well. Just add a bead of hot glue around the edge of that foam board, and we want to apply it to the fabric. And then you just want to cut off the excess fabric, and you want to be sure to leave 1 inch or more to overlap to the back. And now we're just going to fold in and hot glue that extra fabric to the back of the foam board. And now our background is complete. So now what we're going to do is take our white thick fabric to make snowdrifts. Now I originally wanted to use those soft white cloths in the automotive section at the Dollar Tree. I couldn't find some, but I did find some fleece in my stash to use. So what I'm going to do is to cut a hilly snowdrift using my rolling cutter, and the Dollar Tree has their version of this cutter as well. Now this first piece will be the bottom of my snowdrift. And then we're going to take the next scrap and want to cut another snowdrift, and this one will be a bit taller to one side. Now you could cut these however you like. I'm just kind of eyeballing it as I go. And then I'm going to take another scrap, and this one will be a little bit lower, and this is where our deer will be. And once that's nice and tucked into place, I'm going to make a final taller snowdrift that will finish it off. And once all our pieces are in place, I'm just going to check to make sure everything looks okay in the frame. Now all you have to do is to hot glue all of your pieces into place, and you want to start from the top to the bottom. You want to make sure your pieces overlap as you go down. Now once all of your pieces are added, just add some hot glue to the back of the frame, and then once that's done, add your foam board piece right on top. Then go ahead and secure around the back edges with some extra hot glue. So now we can add our embellishments. Now you want to start by removing all of the hang tags and strings and just start to arrange your pieces on the front. Then once everything is in place like you like it, just add hot glue to all of the pieces to secure them in place. Then as a final touch, I cut out a circle from that leftover scrap for a moon, and I added it above the deer. Now I also went ahead and covered the back with craft paper off camera, and I added a piece of jute string on top. And now we can display this piece with your other buffalo check decor. Now I really love this scene, and the dollar stores never fail to impress with their ornament selection. I think this really turned out great. Now you guys, I had so much fun making all of these projects today, and it's always hard to pick a favorite, but let me know in the comments, which one was your favorite today? Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So CraftDee on Facebook for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Thank you so much for visiting and checking out my tutorial today. If you like videos like these and don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed and click that subscribe button below and turn on that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.